the University of North Dakota, this is Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Hello and welcome to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy. Well, the Sioux closed out the home portion of their regular season schedule in style with a two-game sweep of Bemidji State. The 7 seniors gave themselves a great send-off. Those 7 accounted for 7 goals and 7 assists as the Sioux win 5-2 on Friday, 5-1 on Saturday. We've got a full lineup for you today. He was not to be denied. Aaron Dell came into the season determined to earn playing time, and he certainly has done that. He's the top goaltender in the WCHA, and he's the subject of this week's player profile. And if you are what you eat, can you find elite athlete on the supermarket shelf? We'll explore the way players eat to fuel their bodies. Stick around. Coach Hakstol will join us to talk about the Bemidji State series. But before we talk to the coach, we have a question for you. What UND goaltender got an assist in his college debut? The answer and more when we come back. You're watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Voller Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
They're coming. Seems like from every wireless carrier. You may have heard them already. The doubtcasting, the empty comparisons, while they shout them at the top of their lungs to try to blur the lines. In the end, just ask yourself, does the network work? This is America's largest and most reliable network. Verizon, built so you can rule the air.
So overall, this is going to have a $300 million impact.
North Dakota Spirit, the campaign for the University of North Dakota. Join us.
It's a place to get a vibe shop, put shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make taste buds jump and jive. Yeah, it's great and great for a great destination. Great and great for, they don't call it grand for nothing. Stop, hop, chopped up into great and great Forks. It's simply grand.
Before the break, we asked you what Sioux goaltender recorded an assist in his first college game. The answer is Aaron Dell. Dell assisted on Chade Genoway's third period power play goal and recorded a 16-save shutout as well in Alaska in his debut as a Fighting Sioux goaltender. Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy, head coach Dave Hakstol. Had a great weekend. Bemidji State in town, lots of hockey all over town, and your team kind of the highlight of it, Dave, on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And made the best of it. I know you guys always concerned about how you play at home and want to be successful at home. Another record crowd on Saturday afternoon, the second largest crowd ever at the Ralph. And your team responded with another consistent effort against Bemidji State, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Tim, I thought we responded well to the change in routine, which we talked about a little bit last week, and I think that's a good it's a good trial to go through at this time of year. And our team responded well. We played hard. For 60 minutes both nights against a pretty good hockey team.
So we mentioned the crowd. I think was incredible, second largest they've ever had at Ralph Engelstad Arena. And you wanted to get off to a fast start against Bemidji State. The one thing they didn't want to have happen against them, but it did, and you prevailed in there with the opening goal. Yeah,
we didn't have a whole lot going in the first 10 minutes of this game. We had some opportunities, but great play by Brock Nelson to Jason Gregoire. For the first power play goal of the game. The power play would turn out to be a real key factor for us over the weekend, and that really set the tone.
50-50 on the power play on the weekend, as a matter of fact. And then the shot by LaPointe and Brent Davidson there in the right spot to make a deflection and a goal.
Just a good all-around play. Carter Rowney and Mario Lamrou, gaining control and getting the play off the wall. A one-timer to Brent Davidson for a great tip in front.
And another one, and you chalk them up to a tune of 5 against Bemidji State. You ended up giving them 2, so 3 5-2 wins over Bemidji State on the season out of 3 games. Unusual, somewhat.
Unusual to have 3 exact results in a row, but I thought our performance on Saturday afternoon was a good one. We built that lead in the second period. The power play was good. And we did a pretty good job throughout the 60 minutes.
Yeah, and you don't give Matt Fratton that shot, that's for sure. We've talked about that before.
And I scored 2 big goals for us on the power play. That 4th goal was a real key for us, to salt the game away at the end of 2, and then a little bit icing on the cake there for Jason Gregoire. But, maybe lost in the shuffle here. Corbin Knight doesn't get a point. But he goes to the net, and without him going to the net, that goal is probably not created.
Lost in the shuffle, too. If you watch it again, watch Jason Gregoire's feet never stop moving. He's even in the air when the guy's pinching him along the boards, and the feet are still going.
Yeah, he just powers down through the wall. He's so strong, and he's a little bit deceptive with his skating ability and his speed. Powers by and gets that puck to the net.
Take a look at Sunday then, trying to come back and get the sweep and get that first playoff seed in the WCHA, and they actually get on the board first to go up 1-0, but I thought your team responded extremely well by applying a lot of pressure after that.
We did. We responded well. We had a few good shifts after they went up by 1 in the first, and we created a power play going into the second. Didn't score on that one, but scored immediately after on a second power play, and that was a huge goal off the face-off that got us going. Jake Marto, who had a great weekend, stepping up here and making a huge play for the go-ahead goal, and we didn't look back from there.
Great give and go that time with Corbin Knight along the boards, and Marto, as you mentioned, had a big weekend for your team.
He had a huge weekend. He's been so steady and in a lot of ways quietly outstanding. Had a good weekend offensively, but also was real good at the other end of the rink.
And Bemidji State's Dan Backela, the goaltender, had to be figuring Matt Fratton was going to fire that puck, and only to see Fratton give him a little deke and dive and tuck her in the 5-hole.
Well, Matt's really mixing it up, and that's what we like to see. He scored a lot of his goals off a snapshot, glove side early in the year. Now he's finding different ways and really mixing it up in terms of the types of goals he's scoring.
A lot of different ways to score, and as we mentioned, the seniors on the board 7 times in that game, along with 7 assists, I should say, on the weekend, and that's a great way to go out at home.
Yeah, the senior class really was the catalyst. Obviously, we had a lot of other guys that played well, but our senior class drove the bus for us on Saturday and Sunday afternoon.
And a sweep and clinch of the top playoff seed in the WCHA. And with only 1 week left in the WCHA regular season, spots 2 through 11 are still to be decided. And not only are elite athletes well-trained physically, but they pay a lot of attention to what they put into that elite athlete body. Our feature on nutrition is coming up next.
And now your UND&Me starting lineup.
Kate Wilson, sophomore, English education, Rochester, Minnesota.
Ben Carlson, senior, environmental geography, Forest Lake, Minnesota.
Sinky Slater, senior, sociology, Minot, North Dakota.
Jesse Wolf, senior, communications, Beulah, North Dakota.
Be what you want at UND. Go.und.edu.
Golf is such a mental sport. It's a hard sport. It's hard to master. There's nothing better than the feeling of having a nice solid drive, just seeing your ball fly down the middle of the fairway is just a great feeling. My most rewarding experience is to have someone come in and say that they just love the clubs that you've helped them get. I'm Taryn Hicks, and I'm a golf expert at Shields.
When the jump beats go like this.
Kicks and blocks.
When the jump beats go like this.
Hey! For information about summer hockey camps, go to fightingsioux.com or call 701-777-6595.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where graduates succeed, where ideas are born, and research is driven by imagination. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
Well, the coach will say hard practices and solid gameplay help in the win column. Today we find out how hockey players use the kitchen as part of their offense.
Food, grub, vittles. Whatever you call it, most people love mealtime. In college, it can be a struggle for students to eat right. The USDA says an average person needs about 2,000 calories a day. Experts say athletes need to still follow the food pyramid guidelines, but in a bigger way.
Pyramid structure is the same still for athletes, but they're getting it on a larger scale. They may need 4,000, 5,000 calories a day to maintain energy and have adequate calories so that they can build muscle.
An athlete who needs 5,000 calories a day is going to be eating a lot.
I usually start every morning with a bowl of cereal.
I'll make a big shake in the blender with like strawberries, blueberries, bananas, oats, eggs.
Some yogurt too.
Come back from class and I'll make some eggs with ham and cheese and put it on toast.
I'll have eggs and toast pretty much every day.
Usually it's 5 eggs and I'll take some of the yolks out.
I'll mix it up sometimes with bacon.
Maple bacon makes our place smell really good too.
I have a lot of rice and chicken.
Just pasta and chicken.
And vegetables.
And although they may not be the most sensitive bunch, when it comes to the kitchen, these athletes say they have to go with their gut.
I feel better when I make my own food and it's nutritious. I feel better and I have more energy.
If you're eating healthy and eating the right things, your body's going to feel good and you're going to feel rested and energized.
And to others, eating right goes way beyond a feeling.
With nutrition, you got to keep your body, fueled and to survive these workouts. You'll just notice with guys who aren't, eating properly or sleeping properly, probably won't be able to keep up.
So after the gym, most of these athletes head to the kitchen to improve their performance. It can take sacrifice to get the right kind of calories.
You don't want to be in the kitchen standing around for 30 minutes. You want to eat right away, but it takes a little longer, but it's healthier. And when you sit down, you see what you made, and you're like, wow, let's do this.
And it appears that this burly crew may be comfortable swapping a recipe or two.
Like, we'll just talk at the rink, what's for dinner when we're all leaving, and guys will say something, then I'll just be like, oh, how do you make that?
When it comes to mixing up recipes, sometimes the best additive is a little TLC.
Oh, I just cook for my roommates. I love them.
So call it chow, slop, or rations, mealtime is part of the job of a collegiate player.
Ben Blood, Brett Hakstol, and Jason Gregoire are roommates. Brett and Jason say they usually buy groceries together, but they let Ben get his own. The reason? He eats much more than they do. Well, the Sioux get the top seed for the playoffs, but the rest of the first round is a long way from being set. We'll look at the standings in the WCHA. And it was senior night in the final regular season home game, and the Magnificent Seven were, well, they were just that. And a game-changing save that leads to a big goal. All that and more coming up on Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
This is a place where innovation abounds, a place where dreams come true, a place where creativity is a way of life, a place that fires our soul. Join us for the North Dakota Spirit Campaign. Together, we will shape the future of UND and North Dakota.
Shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make taste buds jump and jive. Yeah, it's great Forks, a great destination. Great Forks, they don't call it grand for nothing. Stop, chopped up into Great Forks. It's simply grand.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where they learn from leading experts, share in discoveries and create knowledge. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
Bonds are forged. Character is tested. Teams are united. Champions win here. Watch the crowning of a new NCAA Men's Frozen 4 champion April 7th and 9th on ESPN and ESPN2 in high definition. For information, visit ncaa.com/Frozen4.
Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey with head coach Dave Hakstol. I'm Tim Hennessy. Coach, I don't know if you even care. You're on top. Michigan Tech is going to be on the bottom. That's going to be your playoff matchup. The rest of it is kind of up for grabs, through 11.
Well, you just have to take care of yourself right now, and that's what we've been trying to do week in and week out. Take care of ourselves, take care of our own play, and that's the most important thing.
Let's take a look at a big goal on Sunday afternoon, or a big game-changing situation. You're up 2-1 at this time, and Bemidji State gets a power play opportunity, and Aaron Dell comes up with just a huge save on that point-blank shot from the slot by Ian Lowe.
You know, we did a good job penalty killing, and Bemidji just makes 2-3 great plays, and it's a great one-timer right from a critical scoring area. Aaron Dell reads it, follows the play, and just makes a huge save that leads to this play right here with Pratton coming out of the box.
Yeah, so instead of a 2-2 game possibly without that save by Aaron Dell, it ends up in a 3-1 lead for you, and you go on to the 5-1 win. And that's a big point in the game right there in the middle of the second period, don't you think?
Prime example of a game-changing save.
And then after the game, as a great tribute as always, Ralph Engelstad Arena provides up on the Jumbotron a little tribute to all the seniors on the team. Takes a little while longer this year because there's 7 of them.
There's 7 of them, and you know what? It's great to have that class of 7. They've really grown up together. Obviously, Che Genoway is kind of an addition to this class, but a great addition. And these guys are tight. They do things together on the ice, off the ice, around campus, and it really shows, I think, in the mentality that they bring to the rink. They've developed into a great group of leaders. They all have really embraced and bought into their particular role, and they're playing it to the best of their abilities.
And they all have progressed as the years have gone on through the 4 years here, from something that they weren't then to what they are now, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I mean, they're much better.
Yeah, they've all gotten better year in and year out, and that's growing up, that's maturity, and that's on-ice development, and they've all done a great job with building their careers and putting themselves in a great position for the future.
We talked about it a couple of shows ago about the things that they do off the ice as well. It's not just the seniors that do that, but it's led by the seniors. Those are the guys who set the example for the rest of the team, aren't they?
Senior class sets the bar, and this group has done a great job of setting that bar at a high level, and they've lived up to it.
And I've said, and it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot coming from me, but I think this might be the most enjoyable group of seniors that I've had to be around, just from on the road and everywhere else. They're just gentlemen, and they're fun.
They're fun, and that's a personality I think that they're very proud to have. They're a fun group of guys, and they enjoy life. You know, they take advantage of the opportunities in front of them, and they enjoy themselves, people around them, and I think it shows in the way they play on the ice.
And I think there'll be more opportunities in front of those guys as well. Well, he battled his way to the #1 spot in goal for the Fighting Sioux. Sophomore Aaron Dell is a pretty interesting study. That's coming up on our player profile. We'll get to that, but first a look back in our Fighting Sioux history. He was an All-American, won a national championship at UND. In fact, he had 60 points from defense in the 1987 season. But where is Ian Kidd now? We'll have that answer and more when we come back.
When the drum beats go like this. Kicks and blocks. When the drum beats go like this.
For information about summer hockey camps, go to fightingsioux.com or call 701-777-6595.
The 2011 Red Baron WCHA Final 5 returns to the XL Energy Center March 17th through the 19th. With 2 new teams in the WCHA Conference, the tournament is now 6 teams strong. Plus, you can catch a Minnesota Wild game on Saturday afternoon when the Wild take on Columbus, followed by WCHA Fan Fest and the championship game of the tournament Saturday night. Visit XLEnergyCenter.com. or stop on by the XL Energy Center box office.
There's no better way for me to start my day than with a good run. There's really no other exercise that gives you the same feeling. I ran the Lincoln Marathon. It was a great experience, and the adrenaline from the crowd was amazing. If you can get yourself to go for the run, it's going to feel good, and you're going to feel good mentally. When I help somebody, I like to ask them what they're training for and what's motivating them. I'm Missy Kahn, and I'm a running expert at Shields.
The answer to our "where are they now" question? Well, Ian Kidd owns and runs the Great Harvest Bread Store in Duluth, Minnesota. In fact, on a given day, you'll see Ian and another former Fighting Sioux, Lee Davidson, busy baking bread in the wee hours of the morning in that shop on Superior Street. I'd love to get a picture of that. While the Sioux defense would be a good thing for any goalie's average, when the puck does squeak through, though, Aaron Dell thrives on making that big save. Let's learn more about UND's starting goaltender. Well, it's sophomore goaltender Aaron Dell. Aaron Dell from Airdrie, Alberta. Tell me a little bit where Airdrie is and how big it is and what goes on in Airdrie.
It's 20 minutes north of Calgary. It's a pretty small town. I think it's about 20,000 people. It's not a whole lot to do there. You know, just got the rec center, the pool, and hockey rink is pretty much all there is to do.
When did you start playing hockey?
Competitively, I started when I was about 5 years old. My dad built a rink in my backyard, and I started to skate when I was about 2.
The interesting story for you, Aaron, is that you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
And we don't see too many come through here that have had that experience. What was that like?
I started in about 7th grade, and it was online. Actually, it wasn't like my parents teaching me, but I had the actual teachers would email me the lessons to do, and then I'd do them and then send them back. And it was really good. I was playing on a team in midgets that was the farthest south team in the North Division, so we had a lot of travel, so that helped me out a lot.
Give me the pluses and the minuses as you saw it from doing that.
Well, I had a lot of time to get anything else done. I wasn't like at school for 7 hours a day. I could get some other stuff done around the house or do some other things. I got to sleep in and get all my rest and everything. But I guess the downside would be I didn't get to have all the social stuff with going to school with all the friends you see every day and everything. But I thought from playing hockey I got a lot of that as well.
Well, yeah, that could make up for it, right?
Yeah.
You get the friends and the teammates and everything else that way.
Yeah.
How'd you end up in North Dakota after? Well, you really had a great junior career.
My first year, actually, I only played about 20 games out of 60, and I was kind of designated the backup that year, and they didn't really give me a shot that much, even when I played well. But my second year, I took the ball and ran with it. And I guess they liked me enough to recruit me.
Enjoying it here?
Yeah, loving it. Couldn't be happier.
Some great success, no doubt about it. We appreciate this. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron Dell is North Dakota sophomore goaltender. Aaron Dell leads all WCHA goaltenders with 18 conference wins and also in goals against average. It's the final regular season series for the Fighting Sioux as we make the trek to the UP to take on Michigan Tech. Coach Hakstol will talk about what is really a playoff preview when Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey continues.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Baller Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
And now, your UNDME starting lineup.
Elizabeth Schleicher, Senior, Occupational Therapy, Mandan, North Dakota.
Josh Ahorn, Junior in Clinical Lab Science, Bemidji, Minnesota.
Kirsten Oischer, Senior, Communication Sciences and Disorders, Gwinner, North Dakota.
Dalford John, Freshman in Commercial Aviation, Grenada, West Indies.
Be what you want at UND. Go.und.edu.
Studio One is a television show produced by staff and students at the University of North Dakota.
Here you actually get to do your own stories and you get to go out and talk to people and interview and learn about the cameras and everything that goes into like a live television production. I mean, it's incredible.
Give it a try. I mean, even if you're not broadcasting communications major, anything, I mean, it's worth it.
Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy with Coach Dave Hakstol. Head up to the UP this weekend against Michigan Tech, final regular season series of the year. I said playoff preview basically because they'll be back in Grand Forks for the first round of the playoff series. You can get the WCHA championship all to yourself with a point up there, but I'm guessing you're concerned about just maintaining that consistency of play, huh?
Well, that's what we've tried to key on all the way through here since Christmas time, trying to build our game, trying to remain consistent, trying to earn wins. And we have to go up to Michigan Tech and do the exact same thing. We have to go up and try and earn wins on the road. You know, right now we have a share of first place in the WCHA. You know, we want to continue to build that, and we want to try to take care of that on our list of goals, and really just go up and work hard.
The one thing, maybe a question mark, if anything, is what will you do with Brock Nelson's line going into this weekend?
Well, I think that's going to be yet to be determined. That'll be determined by our week of practice. I thought Mike Cici did a good job, improved his play from Saturday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. That's a good sign. Now, you know, we'll go back to work and practice and see how that solidifies itself. Even though it's a very short week of practice, we still have some work to do. And I'm sure Michigan Tech is thinking we want to make sure that North Dakota knows we'll be there the following weekend. Well, this is going to be a battle. We know that, and we're going to take it one weekend at a time. This is, you know, we're not into the playoffs yet. We're finishing off our regular season, and that's where our focus will be. Good luck against Michigan Tech. Ian Houghton. We want to thank you for watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey this week. Next week, it's playoff time in the WCHA with a trip to St. Paul on the line. We'll certainly be familiar with the opponent. It will be Michigan Tech. Remember, if you have a question or a comment for me or about the show, send us an email at hockeyshow@und.edu. On behalf of Coach Hakstol and the Sioux Hockey team, we thank all of our fans for watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.